I'm looking forward to this. Let's take a quick look at your top cut bracket. So this is where we landed. Ooh, Braxton's kind of too much there, but that's all right. I'll fix that later. We're going to be bringing you guys the very bottom match in the bracket, the 3 seed and the 6 seed. That is Winston on Yoda Data Vault and Emit on Qi'ra Data Vault. But you can see from the rest of the field, we had 4 Han Solos of various types make the top 8, as well as 2 Cad Banes. So we're going to see more of them later. So we're going to come down here to the bottom of the bracket and look at some leaders that, well, one of them is going home here in a minute. We just got to play through to find out who.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, right? And these 2 Cad Banes are very different, right?
Yes.
We have one Cad Bane Tarkentown,
Yep.
and then a Cad Bane paired with a 30 HP Vigilant Space.
Yep.
So 2 very, very different decks indeed.
Yep. An old school Cad Blue there for sure. These guys have looked at their deck lists. They are shuffling up and everything. Why don't we go meet our players here in this top 8 match? On the left-hand side, this is Emit. Emit's here from Albuquerque, not as far away as I thought. They were like, it's only about a 4-hour drive. I was like, it took me 8 to get here. What the hell? And I'm in the same state. And then across from him, a veteran of the stream today, this is Winston. We saw Winston earlier in the stream, and also last PQ we were here in Lubbock. He remains on Yoda, although today he is on Data Vault rather than on Force Space like he was last fall when we were here.
Yeah.
So there's your matchup. I need to make a small adjustment to the timer so we can get this set correctly. There we go. All right, and I'm going to go run over real quick and give them a thumbs up and let them know that they can begin. They don't got to wait on us anymore.
Sounds good.
Be right back.
All right, so our quarterfinal feature match, Qi'ra Data Vault versus Yoda Data Vault, Winston versus Emit. Again, Winston finished second at this exact planetary qualifier during the Legends of the Force meta. Runner-up, trying to get all the way back to the finals and become a planetary qualifier champion this time around. But Emit standing in Winston's way with Qi'ra. These are 2 decks that can go into the late game and play the late game pretty well.
That's
we
putting
know
it lightly.
that, of course, yeah, exactly. Qi'ra can bring out those big Star Destroyers, like Annihilator, Devastator, Avenger, those big late game ships. And of course, Yoda has big plays as well. Luke, and you've got things like Keller and Beck and Home One. And, you know, ever since Secrets of Power released, Wes, these blue heroism decks, or these Vigilance heroism decks, they've at least evened the playing field a little bit with these villainy decks and their top end, because now we have Bo-Katan, and that is pretty good as well.
Yeah, the blue-green hero shells typically don't have this top end in the space arena that the blue-green villain shells do, right? You don't have the big death triangles of the Imperials, but you have, I would argue, much stronger units in the ground arena than the Imperials can offer. You know, if you look back at set 1, there were some big AT-AT walker types in the ground arena for blue-green villain, and they've never really caught on. The reinforcement walker is really kind of the only one that's ever made a splash, and so here we go in this top 8 match of blue-green, a clash of philosophies, hero versus villain.
Yeah. Game 1 officially underway. It's a space start for Winston with the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing and Pike Sentinel starting in the ground arena for Emit. Winston with the initiative will strike first in Game 1. The Phoenix Squadron A-Wing coming in for 3. The Pike Sentinel following suit with 2 into Winston's Data Vault.
Chat's already settling in like this match could be really long. It could be. It could absolutely be a really long grind,
right,
guys.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Pretty interesting start for Winston here. We're just staying in the air, playing the blue leader as a 3-3 in the space arena. And no turn 2 play for Emit.
Yeah,
no ramp here.
Yeah.
No other unit. Yeah, that's tough.
That is interesting. He did draw into an Inferno 4 there. He did take initiative. I'm curious to see what he decides he's going to come out with this phase.
Pike Sentinel has dealt 4 damage, but the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing has dealt 6 as Winston edges back just ahead in the damage race. We see that Inferno 4 that you were talking about, allowing Emit to look at the top 2 cards. He can leave them on top, put them on the bottom if he wants to, but it looks like they quickly get left right on top.
One thing that I think is going to be interesting to keep an eye on in this match is that there's a resupply out of Winston.
We go.
Is that both these shells have access to somewhat similar cards in the neutral, things like resupply, but the blue-green hero has access to a top end with a lot more restore than you ever see. Like villain decks just generally don't have restore, regardless of where it comes from, and so it's going to be really interesting to see. Winston already ahead. If he can stay ahead and then flex that restore in the mid and the late game, this might go badly for Emit. We're going to have to see.
Blue leader dealing 6 over the last couple turns. So these 3 power space units doing some great early work for Winston, as Winston has put 12 damage on Emit's base, and the Pike Sentinel continuing to chip away. Now a unit has left play, so Winston can use that Yoda action ability, drawing a card, and now he will take a card from his hand and put it back on top or the bottom of his deck.
We are going to deploy Qi'ra here. I'm a little surprised to see this, but I suppose I shouldn't necessarily be terribly shocked. It looks like we're going to plot out a Cad Bane. Yeah.
There we go. So Qi'ra, when deployed, will damage the blue leader, and then Cad Bane, when played, plotted out here, will take out the blue leader that only had 2 remaining HP. And it is a resupply carrier for Winston, double ramping here in the first game.
Now.
A resupply, then a resupply carrier. Qi'ra gets in for 4. It's 10 damage on Winston's base, but Yoda could be deployed here, and that is what we're reaching for. Yoda coming out. Queen Amidala discarded off the top, and the Pike Sentinel will be defeated here off that when deployed ability.
Interesting to see that he's decided. Winston's decided. Generally we see these blue-green shells, a lot of them kind of a little more controlly. Winston's like, nah, we're going base, and I'm going to get my restore, and we're going to make this a 6-point swing.
I think Winston feels like he probably needs to be a little bit more of the aggressor in this match. Of course, we talked about those big triangles that can come out late for Emit and start causing Winston some big problems. So if Winston can put enough pressure in the mid stages of this game, maybe we don't even get to a point where those triangles can overwhelm here in game 1.
Yeah.
Emit has the initiative. It's going to be Cad Bane swinging for 4 right out of the gate into Yoda.
Winston with the attack here goes back to base. He does. 20 damage on already for Emit.
Yeah, it's really starting to pile on. Now Qi'ra going to base as well. Trading some damage here. Resupply carrier, though, still on the board for Winston. He's put great pressure on in the space arena as it goes up 24. And now Vigilance will come out, milling the top 6 cards of Winston's deck and healing 5 from Emit's base.
There were 2 Luke Skywalkers in that stack.
That is just, that's not what you want to see if you're Winston.
No, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Brutal. Winston 2 resources ahead here. What's he going to do with it? It's going to be a home 1 now.
Oh, that is strong.
Yeah.
Strong follow-up, because now we have 2 very large threats in the space arena, and he can go and get another space unit back. A heroism unit, it would cost 3 less, so blue leader put back into the space arena. That is a lot of damage. 14 damage showing in the space arena for Winston.
Well, and all this restore, right? Home 1 grants every other unit on the board restore 1, so if Winston gets even a single turn, I mean, he might have lethal already. 4, 8, he does. If everything swings to base here, Winston's presenting lethal at this exact moment.
Yeah, it's a great point. 7 resources, no ramp so far for Emit. We're going to play no glory only results, taking control and defeating home 1. A very critical play here for Emit to take out the 7 power space threat. But Yoda getting in for 4 and restoring 2 from Winston.
Yeah, Winston's just healed a ton, and I think right now he doesn't really care that Qi'ra just keeps punching the base. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been the aggressor here. He's still showing the 7 in the space arena as resupply carrier gets in for 4, and Emit has got to find a way to stabilize this board. Cad's going in for 4 to base as well. 16 damage on Winston's base. Now for Emit, we're on 8 resources next turn, so we could find a failsafe if we need it in something like Super Laser Blast.
Yeah, I'll be really curious
The
to see if
problem
he's
is
got
these,
one.
yeah, but the problem is these blue-green hero decks are so good at just putting threats right back into play with things like Home 1 and Keller and Beck and Queen
Keller and Beck,
Amidala.
Home 1, and he's got it.
Oh, all right. Super Laser Blast clearing out the board, but that's Emit's turn.
Yeah.
Let's see what Winston has in response.
I mean, if Winston can come in with an Amidala and a couple of spies, a Keller and Beck, and there's a lot of different options he can have to put 2 or 3 units out here.
It's going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, so no win played ability coming into effect. But nevertheless, it's 9 power on the board for Winston, and that's enough to finish this game if either one of these units stick around. Timely intervention. What do we have? Big play from hand. It's Darth Vader, Twilight of the Apprentice. A shield will be given to Luke. And Darth Vader will attack and take out Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Fell the Dragon is the response for Winston as he clears up the board.
So now we're to the point where this is the meat and potatoes for these decks, right? The big plays, trying to keep each other off balance. Is that Mina? Mina and Typho.
And what's so important is that Winston was able to get 2 threats on the board following all of that. That's what's crucial, because we know how good these Qi'ra decks, these blue-green villainy decks are at 1-for-1 removal. So if you get 2 threats on the board, that's exactly where you want to be.
Yep.
It also makes sure that something like Avenger doesn't take out your lone threat or a Power of the Dark Side.
Yep. Emit now going to smuggle out another timely here.
It's going to be Reinforcement Walker this time. Is that it, or do we have another Vader? He needs to heal some damage.
Nope, there it is.
It is the Reinforcement Walker. There it is. He'll discard Pershing, healing 3. Now he'll get to attack, so he'll get the win played and on attack ability. Typho will be taken out. And it doesn't look like Winston disclosed there to heal. But Emit healing a total of 6 in that transaction.
So Emit healed 6, and then Mina swung right back in for 2 to base and a restore 1. And then a takedown.
Takedown, finishing off the Walker. Strong play for Winston. Knowing that damage that the Walker can heal was crucial for Emit.
Emit now at least a little bit out of the danger zone. A single attack, not going to knock him out of the game here.
Yeah, Emit working hard and really getting in a spot where he is stabilizing effectively. Darth Vader commanding the first Legion, going and searching, getting the Pike Sentinel out of the top 10 cards, ambushing Mina Bonteri. And once again, no disclose coming from Winston. I think Winston's digging for some threats. He needs to be able to replenish this board.
Well, yeah. And all 3 of his Lukes are in the discard pile already, which feels terrible.
That's such a good point. The Fell the Dragon cleans up Darth Vader. Phoenix Squadron A-Wing comes out for Winston, but Emit is getting very close to having this game stabilized. He has 26 damage on his base, but we could start seeing the big triangles fly around for Emit now.
Yeah, we know. You guys haven't seen his deck list. I took a peek. He does have, I think, 2 Devastators and an Annihilator on the top end.
Cad Bane win played ability defeating the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing. Yoda once again digging. Winston sending a card to the bottom. Here comes Keller and Beck. That's a threat we want to find. As now Winston will get to search the top 7. He's looking for, well, he could be playing a pretty massive unit here. It will have a cost reduction A 3-cost reduction. It's home
Oh,
1. He's found home 1. He'll play home 1 for 5, and then he can go and get another unit. This is the play Winston needed.
Yeah, now he can chain this into a much bigger position and force Emit to have another Super Laser Blast to stay in the game.
Getting Captain Typho, paying the 1 extra resource. Very strong play. And you are absolutely right. Home 1 is threatening lethal. Let's see if Emit has a response. Emit has several cards in hand, so it'd be shocking to me if he didn't have some kind of response to home 1.
Well, for me, it's not just home 1. Like, Kellerin is also lethal in the ground arena. There's not a... Oh, no, the Pike is down there. They've both got a Sentinel in play, don't they? Oh, Annihilator.
Yeah, Annihilator coming out, that awesome prestige copy, defeating home 1, and now Emit gets to go searching through Winston's deck and hand for any copies of home 1 and discard them. So now all of these home 1s will be in the discard pile as well for Winston.
Doesn't have one in hand. Did get the one out of his deck. And now I think, there we go. Typho knocks off the Sentinel. And now Kellerin's
so once
lethal.
Again, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a great call. 2 7-power units, just so good. And it all came from one action. Last phase from Winston.
Yeah,
just one ready resource for Emit. I don't think he has a response to Kellerin here.
I don't think he does. He needs some kind of single target removal, and if he doesn't have it, then Winston's going to win on the next action.
Cad Bane going to attack into Typho. The Disclose effect will allow Winston to heal 1 damage from his base, but Kellerin back swinging for exact lethal. That is going to wrap it up. Our former finalist here at the Planetary Qualifier in Lubbock, Winston taking the early lead here in the quarterfinals.
Solid play. You know, it's easy when you play into these kind of control matchups, right? To kind of get, as a player, you know, as you're learning the game, it's a little demoralized, right? Super Laser Blast, you've built this great board position, and here comes a single card and wipes out all your hard work. And then you try to build your board position back, and then they can do it to you again, or have enough single target removal to stay ahead of you. But these green hero cards, the way that the recursion works between Kellerin, and home 1, we saw it there, that beautiful chain, to be able to chain into multiple units with a single action. Amidala can do the same thing. She puts 3 units on the board with a single action. Really good answers to this blue villain mass removal that's been around for a while.
Yeah, I think after Secrets of Power, especially because the green hero got Queen Amidala as well, I think that green heroism decks are the most well-equipped to deal with something like Super Laser Blast, because there's so many options, like you just talked about, to just recur units, and one action can all of a sudden turn into 2 or 3 units on the board with just one action, and that's just so strong.
Yeah. Now, these guys sideboarded very quickly, so equally quickly. Let's take a quick look at the lists that we're dealing with here. Oh, I haven't updated things on my end. Good news is it's quick fix. That's last weekend stuff. You guys don't want to see that. Let's see. Here we go. And we need Emit's list. So there's Emit's list.
Okay.
So we saw his 1 Annihilator, very impactful in that game. He does have some top in there. We saw the Reinforcement Walker, the Blast. We didn't see the Avengers, but you have to suspect they're in there. One of the things that shocked me, that Cad Bane, really a good card. That new Cad Bane out of set 6, a really good card in this deck, especially on Qi'ra's flip.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that card was very important in that first game. Unfortunately, he couldn't come away with it, even being able to play a couple copies of Cad Bane. Looking at the sideboard, maybe we bring in Snoke. Maybe this can help stabilize things a little bit. He's got Palpatine's Return and Snoke over in the sideboard. Also have Condemn, which could shut down one of these larger units as well.
Indeed.
Maybe when Yoda gets deployed, that's a good quick way. Throw that Condemn, if you need to, onto Yoda.
Indeed. I would take a look at Winston's list, but these guys are literally dealing out hands. So why don't we come back to the game board and make sure we don't miss any actual gameplay. Chat saying, they're not going to miss home 1 when it's gone. I am a little bit. It's a card that has not been as impactful, right? I think as I would have preferred. I've always loved big capital ships, and I remember when I saw it in the early game, in set 1 was out, I was like, oh, this is a great card, but it didn't really have a home for a while. and of course now a fabulous card in these big old Yoda decks. But I think I am going to miss it a little bit because I think the effect and the board impact it has is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I love the recursion that it brings, and I love how it scales late in the game, right? And being able to go and get back something like a Luke late in the game. We saw
Yeah.
Winston, Luke Skywalker's get discarded
Yeah.
off the Vigilance. Well, Home 1 brings that versatility to be able to go and get something back like a Luke once you have the number of resources needed to play Luke with the 3-cost reduction. So, yeah, it's going to be weird not having those recursion cards, but nevertheless, it's going to be a fun new format coming to us next month with a Lawless Time.
So everybody just took the first turn off there. We just
Yeah.
passed and claimed, I think.
Well, all right. Well, that's a start here in Game 2 of the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Winston not able to open with the early space threats like he did in Game 1.
Now, this time, Emit does find some ramp with Super Laser Technician on his second turn, and it's Mina Bonteri for Winston. Wanting to ramp quickly. 2 damage to Mina Bonteri with a Super Laser Technician getting defeated. Emit getting another ready resource up to 5 total as Mina swings in. And look at this, it's double ramp this game for Emit as he goes up to 6 resources with that copy of Resupply.
Yeah, and this time it's Emit who comes in with the early double ramp. That's going to allow him to get to some of his bigger threats, the Vaders and Mauls and that sort of thing, a little faster than Winston here in Game 2.
Now, Winston did put another solid unit in play, playing the Captain Typho into the ground arena.
Taking a quick look, I can see a Condemn in Emit's hand, so he definitely did side those in.
Emit up to 7 resources. Going to deploy Qi'ra with his first action. Dealing damage to each unit. After fully healing them, dealing damage equal to half its remaining HP rounded down. So both of Winston's units end up with 2 damage on.
Yeah, Winston not able to push nearly as much early damage this game as he could in Game 1, and I'm going to be really interested to see how that impacts this game.
Overwhelming barrage. First time I think we've seen that card on stream today.
Indeed.
Qi'ra will get +2/+2. And that is 6 damage that can be spread around, and that is going to clean up Winston's board. The Captain Typho and Mina will be defeated. The Disclose from Mina's when defeated ability, allowing Winston to draw a card.
First time a unit leaves play this game, and so Yoda able to get in some action there.
One swing, Emit ties up that damage race with the 6-power Qi'ra. And here comes Queen Amidala, bringing along some spy tokens, replenishing this board. Queen Amidala, arguably one of the better cards that came out of Secrets of Power, has seen so much play in the Premier format.
She's hard to kill as long as she's got things around her that can absorb the damage. And of course, she herself hits like a train. A 5 swing, ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. All right, Timely Intervention being played. Smuggling the Timely. What do we play? Is it another Vader? It is Darth Vader, Twilight of the Apprentice, giving the shield to Queen Amidala. Will ambush and take out the spy token, and then that on attack, defeating Queen Amidala with the shield token, and Vader not even losing his shield with that 0-power spy.
A great way to clear Amidala out, right? Just to come in and, like, well, I'm not even going to attack you. I'm just going to murder you with, defeat you with Vader's game text.
Yeah. Darth Vader, Twilight of the Apprentice, so deadly with ambush. We're going to see resupply carrier for Winston as Winston goes up to 7 total resources, now trying to set up this Yoda deploy as he uses
Yeah.
that action ability, drawing a card, putting one back on top. Emit's claimed, and here comes Bo-Katan being discarded off the top. The Twilight of the Apprentice is defeated, and now Yoda able to get in for 4 and restore 2. Great tempo turn for Winston.
Very much so. I mean, still very much anybody's game, though, right? By this point in game one, Emit was way behind. But Winston not drawing quite as well earlier, certainly not drawing as much early pressure, and trying to recover now, getting his leader onto the board into this game. Absolutely part of that, and big hit there.
Yeah, that Darth Vader Twilight of the Apprentice, such a good answer to the Amidala, but Winston had a good answer of his own for the Darth Vader. We see back-to-back turns. Timely is smuggled. It's another Darth Vader Twilight of the Apprentice. Deja vu.
Goodness.
That is going to clean up the ground arena with Yoda getting the shield token. The spy once again ambushed into the the on attack, taking out the leader. That is a fantastic back-to-back turn play for Emit.
One of the things that I love is that as Amidala has kind of worked her way through the meta, we've seen a lot more interesting and unique ways people are figuring out how to deal with these multiple spies and kind of dunk on them a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, Winston sure has been able to respond well to the Darth Vaders. He's felt the pressure. He puts out the village people into the ground arena, deals 4 damage with the resupply carrier, and has the Vanquish to take out Vader.
Oh, again.
Another OB onto Qi'ra, 6 damage coming through. Excuse me, more than that. 8 damage coming through. That's going to wipe the board.
That's right. She knocked that shield off of the the village protectors and took some damage back to keep her grit humming.
Yeah, so 6 power for Qi'ra before the overwhelming barrage was played, but now we'll be swinging for 8, as we see home 1 coming out. What does Winston get back? Captain Typho coming back out, and that's pretty important because that Qi'ra is a pretty large threat.
Yeah, she's an 8-4 right now in the ground arena, and they're going to just trading here. Technically, no, yeah, I was going to say technically Qi'ra wouldn't be defeated right now. That's a lie. She has exactly 4 HP, so she's going away.
We do see Winston disclosing again when Captain Typho is attacked and healing 1 damage from base, and Condemn is put onto home 1. So now home 1 much less threatening.
It's actually an interesting place for Condemn to go, because if memory serves, I got to read this card again. Let me put it back up one more time to make sure I read it correctly. It gains on attack. Okay, it gains and loses. Okay, so basically it only loses all other abilities if your opponent does the thing when you attack with it. But if it just sits there, it continues to hand out the restore to everybody, I think.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep, the other units would still have restore. All right, Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out for Winston, and it's Darth Vader commanding the 1st Legion, going to ambush and defeat Obi-Wan Kenobi, but unfortunately Emit not finding a villainy unit in the top 10 that he could play, looking for villainy units with cost 3 or less. As the Yoda action ability gets used yet again for Winston, drawing a card. Let's see what he does. Does he put a card from his hand back on top or bottom? It is back on top.
Ooh.
And Confiscate is going to take out Condemn. Very strong play for Winston.
That is a big hit. Emit's not going to be happy about that.
Not at all. 7 damage dealt to Emit's Data Vault, and here comes Queen Amidala once again. She comes along with her crew, the 2 spy tokens, and Emit staring down an extremely threatening board. This situation just got a little bit sticky for Emit.
Yeah, I think he needs that. He needs to have a super laser blast in his hand here. Probably has seen one by now. I'm sure he was keeping it as an emergency out here. Let's see what he does.
Yep, there you go. Super laser blast clearing out the board, but let's see how Winston replenishes the board following up the blast.
We feel like we've seen this before, haven't we?
We absolutely have. Keller and Beck going to allow Winston to could play another very large unit. Going to play Queen Amidala, and we're going to follow it up. One action. I'll take 4 units, please.
That's just, it's insane that we super laser blasted and we killed 4 units, and one action later, there's 4 more units back on the board.
Absolutely.
That's just crazy.
Crazy stuff.
That's
it's just
crazy
so
to
much
me.
value. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
The value that these blue-green hero decks have now.
Yeah. Just wild. You can absolutely outlast, I think, these super laser blasty type effects now in ways that you really couldn't before, or at least it required. Once they added Kelleran back in, you already had home one. Kelleran gave Hero yet another out, and then in this set we added Amidala, which she's a 3 unit play essentially. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of silly.
Emit with the initiative, staring down lethal in Winston's ground arena. Only 10 HP left on Emit's base.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time, you would super laser blast into an Avenger, and then your opponent would have a real struggle, to get back into the game. But now it's like, I super laser blast, fine.
But we've seen this 2 times already in this game. Another timely intervention smuggled into Darth Vader, Twilight of the Apprentice, taking out a spy and Kelleran Beck. But it is going to be 7 damage coming through with the Queen Amidala and the spy that remained. 30 damage on Emit's base.
I have a hard time envisioning a world where Emit can get out of this now. If he had some restore units, well then possibly. But I mean, and now he's going to get, Vader gets felled the dragon right off the board. Winston doesn't really have to do anything else but just leave his units out there and go, all right, can you stop Amidala?
That is the question. Emit has the initiative. He must stop the Queen or this game is over. And the runner-up of this Lubbock PQ 4 months ago will be moving on to the semifinals. Emit has plenty of resources to work with. What is he holding on to? Does he have a response?
Looks like he has 10 there. We're going to go Vigilance.
All right, well, here's a start. Certainly a start. Vigilance can defeat the Queen Amidala and heal 5. Back down to 25 damage on base. Make that 27 after the spy swings in.
Winston did something last turn that I don't know that I would have done in his shoes, but I quite like the play. He basically just kind of took the round off. He didn't play anything other than that fell the dragon. I think he's kind of making sure that he keeps enough resources in his hand so that he can outlast another super laser blast if Emit draws into one.
Yeah, that's a great point. He just wants to continue to put the pressure on, continue to have that inevitability on his side, being able to replenish the board and make sure that Emit is faced with 2 threats on the board each and every turn. That's where Winston wants to be.
Yep, and he does it here. Luke followed by Typho means that a Power of the Dark Side won't get Emit out of this. He's going to have to come up with something that can kill multiple units in a single play.
Oh, Glory taking control of Luke. Taking Luke out, but now 4 damage dealt to base, so 31 damage on Emit's base, just 2 HP remaining. Winston's so close, he can taste it. Emit's going to play another Vigilance. Feels like he has to heal here. He's going to mill the top 6 yet again. We see Bo-Katan, Luke, and a Kelleran Beck, some of the key hits there. As Emit heals 5 back from his base, he's got 26 damage on.
It feels like Emit's trying to play like he's going to try and outlast Winston and try to mill him out, but with 7 HP left on his base, I'm not sure how he's going to get there.
Right.
But I think you're definitely seeing a lot of clever, smart play by Winston. He's going to play a single unit of the ground arena and then call it.
Yep. Yeah, just making sure he has the 2 threats, right? 2 threats in play, minimum. So that Avenger or Power of the Dark Side not cleaning out that only threat.
Winston's like, all right, let me see your discard pile of shenanigans. There's 3 Vaders in here. There's 3 timely interventions in here. And there's 2 Vigilances. What have you got left?
Yeah. All right, first play, Palpatine's return. What does Emit go and find? It's Darth Vader commanding the First Legion. Let's see if Emit can get a hit this time as he searches the top 10 for any number of villain units with combined cost, if they cost 3 or less.
He really needs one of those Pike Sentinels here or something. It goes with Inferno 4.
Yeah, doesn't find a Sentinel. Captain Typho is ambushed. Winston will heal a damage from his base, disclosing a command and heroism aspect icon. Now Winston with blue leader, poised to deal another 5 and have 31 damage on Emit's base for the second time in Game 2. He's yet to spend any resources. Pershing coming out for the first time for Emit in this match. As Winston just continuing to cycle through the deck with that Yoda action ability, and now Vanquish defeating the commander of the First Legion. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, the protective Padawan, joining the ground arena forces for Winston. And guess what? He's got 2 units in play, and they're both representing lethal yet again.
Yep. Winston, you get the sense from Winston that he's like, oh, I've been here before. I know how to play this match. I keep 2 units on the board. I keep pressure on. I keep forcing you to come up with ways to deal with my units, and eventually I can outlast you because my green hero shenanigans, all the recursion and stuff, will eventually overcome you.
Now Devastator is going to take out one of these units, but with just 2 HP remaining, Obi-Wan Kenobi will come down, swing the lightsaber into Data Vault, finish off Emit, and our runner-up in the last finals is advancing on to the semifinals today. What a performance for Winston, 2-0.
Chat calling that perfect play by Winston. I kind of have to agree with him. I'll be honest. He knew exactly how to navigate the end of that match. Game 2 very different from Game 1. Not able to put a ton of early pressure in, which meant he had to play. I won't say flawless, but had to play a tight late game, right? In terms of making sure to conserve his units and just keep just the right amount of pressure on the board and not go crazy and flood the board and get blasted again. And it worked really, really well.